Good morning to all of you. I am highly thankful to the organizer for having invited me to come over to Pune to address all of you. Friends, corruption is almost inherited starting from the humanities originated on this globe. The degree of corruption varies, but as we are living in the democratic system, more or less corruption has become part of life, and it has engulfed every area. Whether we like it or not, we are living in the world of this system, but how to make it corruption free? The victimizers are the common man, the poor, and the people who are living at the unapproachable area of the country. Their ignorance has been exploited by the people who are at the helm of affairs. So naturally, each one of us have to think seriously. This has become sensitized now in the country, and particularly the youth who have responded very well to make and put an end to this aspect. So I am really happy that the organizers have rightly thought of touching this aspect, make each one of us very, very sensitive and try to dream for the corruption-free India and work for make it a reality. That depends upon the youth. We know as time passes, our country, being a biggest democracy in the world, slowly losing its importance as it is engulfed by corruption. Among 183 countries in the world, our country is sliding down as far as the degree of corruption is increased. This was done by a Transparency International Corruption Organization during 2011. They made a survey and our country has slided down by 11 positions. This is a sad state of affairs. Similarly, up to 2010, starting from the day of independence, Washington-based center has made a survey and found that about $452 billion has been transferred from here to other countries. So these are the things which I wanted to tell you. Lastly, I will say 2-3 questions, throw to you and stop. The first question is corruption systematic and endemic to liberal democracy? Democracy which provides for political equality, but economic and social inequalities which are in practice. The second question is it that corruption is higher in the society which has not yet fully modernized and still has prevalence of semi-feudal attitudes and practices which negatively influences democratic, transparent and fair governance? The third question is, what is the causality of corruption in liberal democracy? Is it systemic? Is it institutions that is confined to only few institutions like politics, legal or legal arrangements? These are the 3 questions I wanted to face before you. You youngsters have to take it up and think over and try to dream. Nobody is barred to dream. Dream for corruption-free India and work hard to reach that reality. On this occasion, once again, I am thankful to the organizers and all of you for having listened me and allow me to speak these couple of words. Thank you all.
यहाँ पर आए हुए अतिथिगण एवं युवा छात्र नेताओं का मैं तहे दिल से स्वागत करता हूँ। मेरा आज का विषय है भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त भारत। सपना है या हकीकत? अब तो मुझे गुस्सा आता है। मैं थक चुका हूं, मैं त्रस्त हो चुका हूं, भ्रष्टाचार के कारण नहीं, भ्रष्टाचार भ्रष्टाचार सुन सुनकर। और हम कहते हैं हमें इससे आजादी चाहिए, हम कहते हैं भ्रष्टाचार मिटाना है, हम कहते हैं भ्रष्टाचार मिटाना है। अरे कहां लिखा है भ्रष्टाचार? मुझे भी बता दो, मैं भी मिटा देता हूं। क्योंकि हम अपने अंदर के भ्रष्टाचार को मिटाने की बात नहीं करते, हम कभी आत्मा की शुद्धिकरण की बात नहीं करते। हम कहते हैं भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ कानून बनाना है, हम कहते हैं भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ कानून बनाना है। 1961 में दहेज प्रथा के खिलाफ भी तो कानून बना था, मिटा क्या? भ्रष्टाचार मिटेगा क्या? नहीं, बस परिभाषाएं बदल जाती हैं। जैसे भ्रष्टाचार का नाम हो जाएगा चाय पानी, काम वही होगा पर नाम दूसरा होगा। हम कहते हैं भ्रष्टाचारियों को फांसी दे दो, हम कहते हैं भ्रष्टाचारियों को फांसी दे दो। सीबीसी की एक रिपोर्ट के मुताबिक देश में हर तीसरा आदमी भ्रष्टाचारी है। किस किस को फांसी पे चढ़ाओगे? मैं यह कहने नहीं आया हूं कि भ्रष्टाचार समाज का हिस्सा बन चुका है, कैंसर की तरह फैल रहा है, या 2G, CWG, AG, OG, पार्ले जी। मैं थक चुका हूं सुन सुनकर ये सब। इस देश का एक साधारण नागरिक होने के नाते आपको सच सुनाने आया हूं। जब से होश संभाला है भ्रष्टाचारी देखा है, राशन की दुकान से लेकर इंदिरा आवास मकान तक। क्या करें, हमारी परवरिश ही कुछ इस तरह से हुई है। कहां से लाएंगे वो इच्छा शक्ति? जब तक प्रत्येक व्यक्ति में राष्ट्र चरित्र का निर्माण नहीं करते और भ्रष्टाचार को राष्ट्रद्रोह घोषित नहीं करते। भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त भारत एक सपना है, हाँ यह सपना है, हाँ यह सपना है, क्योंकि हम इसकी शुरुआत नहीं करना चाहते। हम इंतजार करते हैं कोई आगे आए, अपनी जादुई छड़ी घुमाए और भारत को भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त कराए। हाँ, भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त भारत एक सपना है, क्योंकि हम घर में, बाजार में, दफ्तर में इसकी बुराई तो करते हैं, पर कभी कभी अपने ही फायदे के लिए इसका हिस्सा बनने से पीछे नहीं हटते। एक आदमी को भूखा मरते हुए देखने के लिए लाखों लोगों की भीड़ इकट्ठी हो जाती है, पर भूखे को खाना खिलाने कोई आगे नहीं आता। यह हमारा शिष्टाचार है। 125 करोड़ की आबादी में से मात्र 50,000 लोग एक मैदान में इकट्ठे हो जाते हैं और हम कहते हैं आवाम जाग उठा। अरे आवाम तो रोज सुबह जाग कर उठता है, पर करता क्या है? इससे ज्यादा लोग तो हमारे देश में भजन और कीर्तन के लिए इकट्ठे हो जाते हैं। इतिहास साक्षी है, इतिहास साक्षी है, आंदोलन और संघर्ष कुर्बानियां मांगते हैं। अगर हम ये कुर्बानी देने के लिए तैयार हुए तो ठीक, वरना भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त भारत एक सपना है। हम कहते हैं सरकार भ्रष्ट है, हम कहते हैं सरकार भ्रष्ट है, अपनी जिम्मेदारियां नहीं निभा रही। अरे हमने ही तो चुनकर दी है, और क्या हमें अपनी जिम्मेदारियों का एहसास है? गलियां साफ नहीं है भ्रष्टाचार के कारण, सड़कें ठीक नहीं है भ्रष्टाचार के कारण, बिजली पानी नहीं है भ्रष्टाचार के कारण। रोज रोना रोते हैं भ्रष्टाचार का, पर एकदम आदी हो चुके हैं उस चीज के। मान लो कोई कानून आ भी गया, कोई कानून आ भी गया, तो क्या तुम ब्लैक में टिकट खरीदना छोड़ दोगे? राशन कार्ड के लिए पैसे देना छोड़ दोगे? सरकारी नौकरी के लिए रिश्वत देना छोड़ दोगे? या इंस्टीट्यूट में एडमिशन के लिए पैसे देना छोड़ दोगे? गाड़ी छुड़वाने के लिए ट्रैफिक पुलिस को पैसे देना छोड़ दोगे? अगर इसका उत्तर हाँ है तो मैं समझूंगा ये पहला कदम है, वरना भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त भारत एक सपना है। पर इत्तेफाक की बात तो देखिए, पर इत्तेफाक की बात तो देखिए, हमें यह सपना तो आया। अरे सपना है तभी तो साकार करना है दोस्तों। जरूरत है एक उत्साह की, जरूरत है एक आह्वान की, और जिस दिन हमने अपने अंदर संकल्प लेकर उत्साह के साथ आह्वान किया, विजय निश्चित है, विजय निश्चित है भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ लड़ाई की, विजय निश्चित है इस राष्ट्र की, विजय निश्चित है राष्ट्रवाद की। राम मनोहर लोहिया जी ने कहा था, जिंदा कौमें 5 साल इंतजार नहीं करती। अगर इसकी शुरुआत हम आज से करें तो ठीक, वरना भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त भारत एक सपना है। आगे की बात मैं अपने द्वारा लिखी गई एक कविता के माध्यम से आप तक पहुंचाना चाहता हूं। मिल गई आजादी पर इनकलाब अभी जारी है, मिल गई आजादी पर इनकलाब अभी जारी है, नए भारत के निर्माण की जिम्मेदारी अब हमारी है। अगली 2 पंक्तियों पे मैं आप सभी लोगों के हाथ ऊपर चाहता हूं, इस तरह कसम खाते हैं, आज से हम कसम खाते हैं, नहीं मिलाएंगे हाथ कभी जो शख्स भ्रष्टाचारी है। जन जन फैलाएंगे समाचार की भ्रष्टाचार एक बीमारी है। आगे की पंक्तियां उन लोगों के लिए जिनका काला धन विदेशों में जमा है। मत नोचो तुम आंचल इसका, ये भारत मां दुलारी है। बंद करो ये खून पीना जो अभी तक जारी है। अरे क्या तुम्हें नींद आएगी? क्या तुम्हें नींद आएगी जो लोगों का हक तुम खाते हो? क्यों इन बेचारों की बद्दुआएं तुम पाते हो? अरे कहां जाओगे? अरे कहां जाओगे? कहां जाओगे पैसा लेकर? क्या सोना चांदी तुम खाते हो? यहां लोगों को रोटी नहीं, तुम धातु कैसे बचा जाते हो? उठो और देखो इस देश में फैली कितनी बेकारी है। मत नोचो तुम आंचल इसका, ये भारत मां दुलारी है, ये भारत मां दुलारी है। धन्यवाद।
नमस्कार, यहां पर एक हिंदुस्तानी खड़ा है और मैं हिंदी में बात करूंगा। भारत देश के कई नेताओं और सरकारी अफसरों में एक अचार बहुत ही लोकप्रिय है। क्या आप जानते हैं इस अचार का नाम क्या है? भ्रष्टाचार। जी हाँ, भ्रष्टाचार नाम है इस अचार का। हम लोग सब भ्रष्टाचार की बातें करते हैं। भ्रष्टाचार नाम का ये रोग हमारे देश में बहुत तेजी से बढ़ रहा है, लेकिन ये भ्रष्टाचार पैदा कहां से होता है? इसकी जड़ कहां पर है? हमारे भारत देश में जो लोग भी चुनकर वहां पर जाते हैं वो कोई और देश से, कोई और दुनिया से नहीं आते हैं। हम लोग उनको चुनकर वहां पर भेजते हैं। तो हमारी युवा शक्ति की ये जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि हम उन्हीं लोगों को वहां पर भेजें जो भ्रष्टाचार ना करे, और साथ ही साथ जो लोग भ्रष्टाचार वहां पर करते हैं हमारी जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि हम लोग उनको वहां से उखाड़ फेंके, तभी ये देश बदल पाएगा। चुनाव आयोग पर मैं यहां पर बोलना चाहूंगा। चुनाव आयोग बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहा है। चुनाव आयोग को भारत देश में एक सशक्त फर्ज बजानी चाहिए। साथ ही साथ उनको जो भी पावर्स दी गई है उनको ठीक ढंग से इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए। भारत देश के राजनेता पता ही नहीं चलता है कि नेता है या रिकवरी एजेंट। चुनाव के दौरान वो लाखों करोड़ों रुपयों का खर्च करते हैं, एक बार चुनकर आ जाते हैं, उसके बाद शुरुआत होती है रिकवरी प्रोसेस की। चुनाव के दौरान जो भी खर्च किया हुआ है उसका कई गुना खर्च वो हमारे लोगों से छीन लेते हैं। चुनाव आयोग को इस बात को गंभीरता से लेना होगा। हमारे भारत देश की संसद ने चुनाव आयोग को एक कानून बना कर दिया हुआ है जिसका संचालन चुनाव आयोग को करना है। यह कानून है चुनाव के दौरान महत्तम खर्च की सीमा के निर्धारण का कानून। चुनाव आयोग ये क्यों नहीं समझ पाता है कि महत्तम खर्च को काबू करना बहुत जरूरी है? भ्रष्टाचार का मूल इसमें है। भ्रष्टाचार मिटाने के लिए चुनाव आयोग को ज्यादा जिम्मेदारी लेनी होगी। 9% आर्थिक विकास दर की बात करती है हमारी सरकार है। आम आदमी को ये आंकड़े समझ में नहीं आते। सरकार की नीतियां जो भी होती है वो सारी निफल हो जाती है। सरकार को अच्छी नीति बनानी पड़ेगी। लाखों करोड़ों टन अनाज सड़कों पर यूं ही पड़ा पड़ा सड़ जाता है और बाद में उसको शराब बनाने वाली कंपनियों को बेच दिया जाता है, और गांव का भूखा आदमी अपने परिवार वालों को 2 वक्त की रोटी तक नहीं दे पाता। सरकारों को यह समझना पड़ेगा। और अंत में मैं एक ही बात कहना चाहूंगा कि यदि भ्रष्टाचार को देश में से निकालना है तो हमें खुद को आगे आना पड़ेगा। हमारे भारत देश के संस्कारों को, भारत देश के मूल्यों को जानना पड़ेगा, तभी इस देश से भ्रष्टाचार मिट पाएगा। जय हिंद, जय भारत, नमस्कार।
थैंक यू वेरी मच, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। हिंदी में बहुत लोग इधर बात कर रहे हैं, मेरी हिंदी बहुत अच्छी नहीं है, कोशिश करूंगा बीच बीच में हिंदी में बोलने की, but I hope you will understand what I am trying to say, because I am not here to give a speech. I am not good at giving speeches. In fact, I don't like people who give speeches. They take too much time. But I saw the speakers before me and I was mesmerized. I have never seen so much passion for a long time. And there are people who tell me in what I do that all that you do is useless because this country will never change. They tell me you can expose scam after scam, nothing will ever change. This is the way we are, aisa hi hota hai. But when I see these speakers and when I see the rapt attention and the standing ovation you gave them, my heart goes out and I know that this country will change. This country will certainly change. And this country will change before people who think it will not change. That day will come. Ladies and gentlemen, respected members on the dais, organizers of the Indian Student Parliament, and fellow speakers before me, thank you very much for calling me here today to your outstanding event. For I have 7,000 to 8,000 students in one forum like this from every part of the country. I commend each one of you for taking your time and participating in this great event. This is absolutely tremendous. I have been asked to speak on a corruption-free India, a dream or a reality. I will stray away from the subject a little bit. I also want to use the opportunity to hear from you, so I will speak less, and I want to hear from you a little bit. I want to take you back to when I was starting my career. There was a man called Sukhram. You know Sukhram? And I was a young reporter, 1996 or 1997. And everybody said, you know, this man has got stashes of cash found under his bed. And we were amazed. We said, we are working for television. Is there a way in which we can get pictures of that cash? They said, this is the biggest scam which has rocked India. They said the total value of the telecom scam was 1,500 crore rupees at that point of time. I heard last week that Sukhram claimed that he had gone into coma and that's why he couldn't go into jail. Did you hear about that? The media exposed the Sukhram scam. What happened to it? Nothing. For 15 years, a man who now says he's in coma, we have been awaiting justice and there has been absolutely no redemption. Do you know why that is? Because there is in this country, to fight corruption, there is no sense of urgency. There is a feeling that we can deal with it in its own good time. The case will go on, courts will carry on, the parliamentary committees will continue to sit on it, we will continue to deliberate, and the people of this country will continue to be fooled forever in this so-called fight for corruption. What has happened in the last 2 or 3 years, which I feel proud to have been a part of, is that somewhere within, I feel the sense of urgency and restlessness has come back into this country. And that is the best thing. The best things in my own life have not been planned. I didn't plan to be a journalist. And let me tell you, I did not plan to break the Commonwealth Games scam. Mr. Kalmadi does not believe me, of course. I have a deep connection with this city. I studied here in the mid-80s in St. Vincent's. My father was in the army posted here. My family lives here. And Mr. Suresh Kalmadi is also from Pune. I told Mr. Suresh Kalmadi when I met him, I said, you know, you are absolutely fooling yourself if you think that there is a strategy behind breaking the Commonwealth Games scam. Do you want me to tell you how we broke the Commonwealth Games scam? I'll take 1 minute. June 2010, I am sitting in my office and I am told by my political editor, Navika Kumar, that there is a piece of paper she has with her. I said, what is this about? She says, I don't know what this is about, but I know that there is 100% proof. I said, what is the proof? She said, I have these papers, I will fax it to you. She faxed it to me, I looked at it. The papers were not Indian government papers. This is a story that you don't know, which I'm sharing with you today for the first time. The papers were papers of the British government. The British government had found that the Commonwealth Games organizing committee members, when they went on a jamboree in the United Kingdom because you remember much before the CWG, there was outside the Buckingham Palace, this great event, which I don't know why it happens. It's the most colonial thing to happen. But in any case, before the Buckingham Palace, there was this great event where the Commonwealth Games torch was handed over to the Indian organizers, and I think the President of India was there or was supposed to be there. So a few people from the Commonwealth Games organizing committee had gone to London. When they went to London, Of course, some people found it a very convenient way to spend some taxpayers' money. So they started doing the usual things. They started booking fake taxis, the usual practices. They started booking fake buses, fake hotels, and this scam they built up. It was a small scam. It was only $200,000, but there was a paper I had which was written, stamped Her Majesty's government, and it said that we find that there is a sum of money of 200,000 pounds, which there is a mismatch, and we would like the Indian authorities to please explain what is behind it. Just $200,000. You do a conversion, it's a few lakhs, maybe a few crores, not even more than 10 crores. A small amount. The kind of amount which Mr. Suresh Kalmadi said that they would not waste their time doing corruption for. My question is only this. That was the scam. If you remember, when we broke the scam, our reporter was not in Delhi, our reporter was in London. And from London we went to the house of the person who was supposed to have delivered the taxis to Mr. Suresh Kalmadi's team, and we found that person missing. Pressure was put on that person not to speak. All kinds of things were being done. We were put under pressure. Phone calls were made. Stop covering the scam. And I only asked myself one question. Why are so many people trying to silence us about a scam that is less than 10 crore rupees? Can it happen? There must be something bigger. Obviously, there was something bigger. There's 70,000 crore rupees back in India. 10 crore rupees wasted in UK. But the root of corruption is the same. The people involved in the corruption were the same. The organizers were the same. If the British government could find at that point of time a small scam but find the proof behind it, why was that not found for so many years here in India? That's the question. I was also told when I started my career, Arnab, never express your opinion. कभी अपने मन में जो है कभी मत बोलो किसी को. गुस्सा आए तो आपको अच्छा ना लगे, कोई आपको इंसल्ट कर दे, अपनी point of view मत रखो, because the day you present your point of view, you will become a bad journalist. This is the golden rule of journalism which I was taught when I entered this profession. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you today, I can't help but express my opinion, and I don't think I'm doing anything wrong about it. People tell me, you are changing the basic rules of journalism. If so, so be it. Let us change the basic rules of journalism in this country. How do I remain quiet? On the 25th of December 2010, while people were about to go in for their extended Christmas vacation, I heard about a story about how a 17-year-old girl had been brutally raped for 7 to 8 days by a ruling party BSP MLA in Banda in Uttar Pradesh. When she threatened to go public with the story, she was beaten black and blue by the MLAs and the MPs, by the MLAs and the local politicians. When she went to the police station, she was not only told that she will not get justice, she was further beaten, and then she was arrested, she was charged with theft, she was put in a lockup, and all of this while the MLA was having a great time outside. Tell me, ladies and gentlemen, when you hear of a story of this, all the students here, I want to ask you, when you hear of a story about this, will you or will you not express your opinion? Tell me. Yes or no? If you will express your opinion, tell me, why should I not express my opinion? What kind of journalistic objectivity is this? Where on the gravest injustice you keep quiet and you call it objectivity. My question to those people who say this is journalistic or objectivity is a simple question. What if one side has only truth as its weapon and it is fighting a larger and more powerful establishment? Whether it is the Commonwealth Games scam, or whether it is the Banda rape case, whether it is the Jessica Lal case, all these cases have to be brought to public light, and there has to be a general awakening. We have to redefine the concept of what is public interest in this country. You agree with me? My second point to you is there is tremendous collusion in this country. Collusion, a cover-up, and an attempt to confuse the people. Whenever we break a scam, the first response is, can we simply collude among each other to try and make sure the scam goes away. You've heard of the IPL scam? That was nothing but collusion. Collusion of a number of people of powerful interests. This is often followed by a cover-up. You have seen that happening in the 2G scam. The third attempt is to confuse, to bring legal technicalities and other things to confuse the people and tell the journalists that they are wrong. Very often in my own profession, I have found that many journalists fall on the back foot when they are faced with such cases. It is important for us, and not just journalists, for all the people there, therefore, to be more and more aware. You are sitting today in the Indian Students' Parliament. I would appeal to each one of you to go into the details of subjects as much as you can, so the next time there is an attempt to confuse you, there is an attempt for people to collude together, there is an attempt to do a cover-up, you have better answers to give people than the questions that they put to you. Because remember, the other side is very well informed. And if you want to contribute to changing this country and to removing corruption, you must not just have an opinion, you must be extremely, extremely well informed. Because when you have CAG reports, when you have 2G scams, when you have a Devas ISRO scam, today there is even a scam which is being spoken about in some of the intelligence agencies in our country. There is no edifice of our country which has been spared from corruption. If you want to genuinely take it on as future leaders of this country, arm yourself with genuine information. I have one third point to make to you. Don't stop believing in the media. A lot of people tell me, you know, people hate the media. I don't believe them. Of late, there are surveys done. How much do you hate the media? Ladies and gentlemen, and all the students here, I can tell you that when we do issues, when we do scams, when we break people's interests, when we question existing edifices, when we make people resign, those people would certainly hate us. I don't think the people of this country hate the media. Do you hate the media as much? Do you really hate the media? Then we ask ourselves that without the media, which scam in this country would have been exposed? It is easy to criticize the media. It is easy to abuse the media. Which story would the CWG scam, the 2G scam, the Devas ISRO scam, the Adarsh scam, the NTRO scam, would any of these scams even be in your knowledge? Would we be sitting here talking about this subject had each of these stories not been exposed, not by anyone, not by the judiciary, not by the executive, certainly not by the army, but the only arm that works day and night for the democracy of this country, the media? I don't believe the people of this country can hate the media. And therefore, if you find at any point of time that there is an attempt at controlling the media, then the people of this country must reject such attempts. You may have heard that of late there are attempts to control the media, regulate the media. Let's not make the media a villain. It is very easy to make the media a villain. Let me take the most recent example. You may have heard 1 month back the Arushi case. Have you heard about the Arushi case? 1 week back, a few days back. I don't want to take a position. I don't know what is in the Arushi case. But certainly I would say this. Please think about it. How much abuse did the media take on the Arushi case? You are wrong, you are sensationalist, you got the facts wrong, you're asking the wrong questions. For almost 2 or 3 years, the Arushi case was picked up as a case of all that the media does wrong. In that case, why has the Supreme Court issued those orders 3 days back? Let's ask ourselves. If the media was completely wrong on the Arushi case, then why has the CBI continued to investigate the case? Why is the matter still before the Supreme Court? Of course, the matter is before the Supreme Court. It's for the Supreme Court to judge. But let's not make a whipping boy of the media. I go back today to 1997, 96, I think. I was a reporter standing outside the 30,000 courts in Delhi. आप पता नहीं आप लोगों में से कितने लोग 30,000 कोर्ट्स जाते हैं. उस वक्त तो बहुत ही भयंकर हालत थी वहाँ की. खड़े होने की जगह नहीं थी, फैन नहीं था, एक दूसरे को लोग धक्का मारते थे. It was a terrible situation outside the courts. My life-changing experience, which I look back on now, is that I remember there was a very powerful politician who was making an appearance in a case called the Jain Hawala case. You know the Jain Hawala case? And we were all running behind that politician because we felt there was enough matter and material to ask the politician questions. The politician, he saw two reporters. He put his security guards behind the reporters. The security guards outside the court pushed us and thrashed us. And while seeing us thrashed, our cameras had fallen over. The politician looked at us and he said, "Kya question puchte rehte? What are these questions you keep asking? What is going to come out of your questions? Kuch nahi badalta hai." I remember those words from 1996 every day today, and every night when I do my program, those words ring in my ears. Kuch nahi badalta hai. And therefore, when I got phone calls, and I can share with you, when I get phone calls from politicians saying, "You know what, can we talk to you? Can you stop reporting this story? I'll give you an exclusive interview." And I say, please give some of my rivals exclusive interviews of that kind. And then I have also seen some rival channels, they put out those exclusive interviews, they say, "Explosive interview." And the explosive interview starts with the question, "Mr. So-and-so, all these charges against you, are they all wrong?" That's the investigative question asked by some explosive interviewers. This country will change if we learn to ask the right and direct questions. This country will change if it gets a little bit of confidence in itself. This country will change if the youth of this country lose their sense of fear. Because at the end of it all, I want to share with you, in my profession as well, the worst thing that they strike you with. They will not hurt you. They will not beat you. They will not thrash you. They will not be able to send you to jail. But they will certainly try to make you afraid. And the moment they put fear in your hearts, then it is over. In my own career, there have been innumerable examples, and I know that there will be 1,000 more examples when they will try and instill fear in my heart. Like, if any of you want to take up the fight against corruption in any way, they will try and instill a sense of fear in your hearts. Do not be afraid, is the only advice that I can give you. In every big story I have done, whether it has been in Gujarat, where I have been stopped by the rioting mobs, whether it has been after the scam, whether it has been phone calls from politicians who advise me what to do or not to do, whether it is the powerful interest, there is only one story I realize at the end of it. To journalists and to citizens, I would only say this: the fight against corruption will end if you have a sense of fear in your hearts. The last word, empower the media. Because far before Team Anna picked up the issue of corruption, far before India Against Corruption came to the fore, far before some individuals said they were the representatives of the fight against corruption, do not forget where it started. It started with the story I told you. It started with the Commonwealth Games scam. It started with that piece of paper that was found. It started with the stories that came out in the media. Today, if you are here today, it is because of all that was reported in the media. Do you agree with me? It's not because a group of people said we are right at the front of the vanguard against corruption. I have tremendous respect for those people because they have played their role. But at the heart of it, at the heart of our vibrant democracy is a changing media. And that changing media is our greatest hope. If I was in the media or was not in the media, I would say that to you. So take that forward. I will end my speech. I have bored you enough. I can give you many more details, you see. I can give you many more details. Should I say everything today of what I have been through? Then I'll be caught back, or somebody will catch me on the way back from Pune and make sure I'm not in my studio. I will tell you this, that what you hear is often 2% of what is there. And there must be a reason I'm telling you this, because I don't know the rest of the 98%, but I at least know more than 2%. I cannot put out more than 2% because what journalism we do has to be backed with facts, documents, and details. I know that there are attempts to intimidate us, but I can assure you that you will see in the next few years much of more than 2% come out. What you have seen and what you are reporting, you know those graphics you were putting out, Sukram scam this much, this scam this much, just before I came I was seeing the numbers. God knows there are many more scams waiting to be broken in this country. And we will do that. I will not bore you more, but I will end with a quote of somebody I don't admire called Corazon Aquino of the Philippines. I don't admire Corazon Aquino at all, but she made a very valid comment. He said, the media's power is frail. Without the people's support, it can be shut off with the ease of turning off a light switch. We want your support. Give us your support. The day the independent media dies, we will not be sitting talking like this. Thank you very much.
Good morning, sir. As we know, corruption is a very serious problem in this country, but until now we are failed to make a strong law against it. Our black money is nearly $1.4 trillion, nearly equal to 14 nations' economy. But we did not change Swiss law. Criminalization is progressing in the politics. In the 2001, I read an article that the Supreme Court said criminals should not be fight elections. But in 2002, all parties came together and passed a bill. No, criminals can fight the elections. Then ये कैसे चेंज हो सकता है सर? हम लोग इसको कैसे चेंज कर सकते हैं?
It will change, and let me give you an example. आपको मैं एक fact देता हूँ. If you tell a group of corrupt people that can you please decide what action to take against this one corrupt man, then they will say, good, let us do a departmental inquiry. And then they'll do a departmental inquiry and they'll say that, acha, theek hai, you know, the warning is given to this person. In 99% cases, even that will not happen. No, I'm not joking. Before coming here, I picked up some figures. My young friend, I'd like to share that with you. Between 2005 and 2010, of the cases that were pursued after going through the Central Vigilance Commission, which means one layer is already gone. You take a case to CVC, after CVC gives advice, then it goes back. 95% of the cases were given simple departmental warnings and penalties. Only 5% of the cases were taken up for prosecution. Now you know when it is 5% goes to prosecution. Out of that 5%, you know our judicial system and our investigative system. Sukram took 15 years. I think that is your answer. You have to change the root of the system. You have to take the power of adjudication away from the corrupt. There has to be independence, some independence in prosecution wings, in investigative wings. There has to be some degree of independence that is given. The moment independence is given and you take the powers away from people who are both standing in judgment and judging, you can't, if you continue that system, nothing will change. I think we have to change the system, we have to strengthen the system.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
नमस्ते साहब, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था, क्या करप्शन रोकने के लिए अगर हम राइट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन को स्कूल और कॉलेज के सिलेबस में अगर शामिल कर रहे तो क्या इससे हम करप्शन रोक सकते हैं?
Rule simple hai jo which I believe in. You should name the corrupt and you should shame the corrupt. In corruption, if you want to fight corruption, then generalities में बात करके कोई फायदा नहीं है. जब तक हर एक करप्ट व्यक्ति सिस्टमैटिकली एक्सपोज नहीं होगा, ये चलता रहेगा. और ये जो 2G, CWG आदर्श रहे हैं, ये सब सीक्रेट में रहते अगर ये मीडिया में नहीं आते. तो दूसरी बात यह है जो आपने राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन की बात की. राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन इज अ बेसिक टूल. नाउ माय प्रॉब्लम इज नॉट विथ राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन. माय प्रॉब्लम इज with the whistleblower bill. Why right to information we have? I know some politicians want to dilute right to information. You may have seen some debates ki RTI ko dilute karo, change karo. Now, but the people of this country will not allow that. That I know. My problem is that in this country there is so much fear. Log darte hain. कुछ कहने के लिए। लोग कहते हैं कि हम अगले सत्येंद्र दुबे क्यों बने इस देश में। That is the biggest problem. And I'm telling you this कि मेरे पास स्टैटिस्टिक्स है कि सारे इस देश में सिर्फ 1700 कंप्लेंट आए हैं अंडर दिस होल विसल ब्लोअर थिंग बिटवीन 5 years of 2005 to 2009. यानी कि every year only some 250 people in a country of 1.2 billion people, only 250 लोग सामने आए हैं जो जिन्होंने कहा है कि हम कुछ अपनी तरफ से एक्सपोज करना चाहते हैं। तो मैं ये फिर कहना चाहूंगा आप लोगों को, बिकॉज दिस इज अ मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द पीपल हियर आर एक्सट्रीमली यंग, लूज द फियर, बिकम विसल ब्लोअर्स। If the whistleblower bill comes, even if it doesn't come, there is no attempt at trying to become a hero if you don't take some risk. To the young people of this country, I will say, if you see corruption, become a whistleblower. Whatever you do in life, whatever organization you join, share the facts. You have an aggressive and a vibrant media which is building up in this country. But we also need aggressive, vibrant, and risk-taking, fearless citizens to empower this fight against corruption. Thank you.
Sir, the honesty of our Prime Minister needs no reaffirmation. He's an honest man. But an honest Prime Minister shielding non-honest and corrupted people, can he be considered as an honest person? Secondly, sir, do you think that there should be some amendment in laws so that the course of trial should be fast? There should be fast-track courts so that the corrupt people should get punishment very fast. And sir, do you think that under this garb of corruption, the honest and sincere politicians are suppressed from expressing their views, thereby affecting the development of our country? Thank you.
You know, on your first question, you cannot blame corruption on anything. And you can never compromise with corruption. I think everyone knows that, not just the Prime Minister, every person there knows that, people in government, people in opposition. I think they have genuinely sensed that the people of this country will not stand any compromise at all with corruption. I think that message goes home very clearly. Now, on the second question, I think India has more laws than any other country when it comes to fighting corruption. Genuinely, I am telling you this. I have watched with a great deal of interest the fight over the Lokpal bill. But can I tell you something about this, the way I look at the Lokpal bill? Can I stray from the subject a bit? I don't think it's only about the Lokpal bill. I don't think people came up in Jantar Mantar in April and in August in Delhi only because of the Lokpal bill. I think people came for different reasons. Every person there had a different reason. There is a great deal of frustration in this country. People are not on the streets only asking for a law. In this country, you have the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988, Indian Penal Code 1860, Benami Transactions Act in 1988, UN Convention Against Corruption we've signed against 2005. Who says there aren't enough laws to fight corruption? Corruption is there, and the number of laws in India is maximum. The people who came out on the streets were people who were frustrated with different things. Everybody had their grievance. I went out there, and as I asked my reporters, they said somebody is not happy because they haven't got their kids admitted in school. Somebody is not happy because, they haven't got admission. Somebody had to pay capitation fee somewhere. Somebody had a frustration about getting a bus ticket. Somebody felt they've been agreed. Somebody was not given a job. Somebody was a victim of reservations. Everybody had their own unique grievance. It was not as if everybody had researched the Lokpal bill, the Jan Lokpal bill, compared it with 5 other bills, and then decided that we will come out to protest. That is nonsense. It is not the case. So there are enough laws. My problem is, and I'd like to share this with you, young lady, my problem is justice delayed is justice denied. You tell me, I feel very frustrated. We are talking about the 2G scam now. The original telecom scam of Sukhram, more than 16 years have passed. Unless there is an effective and speedy system of justice, there is a mountain of laws in this country which amount to nothing. There's a mountain of laws. There is a Himalaya of laws in this country to fight corruption. But the Sukhram case has not been addressed yet, and I have a genuine problem with this because the delay in justice results in not just the corrupt getting away, it also results in a failure to send out a tough message that will be a deterrent to other people. And a failure to send out a message means that you can keep transgressing the system, none of us will get into trouble. So I want to change, there's a basic rule. There is a rule which says if you do the crime, you do the time. I would like to change that rule to if you do the crime, you do the time within a particular time. Otherwise, it means nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, we appreciate that you have been a responsible journalist over the past few years. But sir, don't you think that certain sections of the media are surely not as responsible as Times Now and you have been? Is it in the interests of the people of the country for such media to take sides on matters of national importance? And would you not consider it irresponsible journalism, and even maybe yellow journalism can be misleading to the people, especially when the matters affect them so much? Thank you, sir.
Of course, the media has to clean up its acts. First, answer to first question. I feel terrible when I hear the Neera Radia tapes case. I feel terrible because I would never allow it. And I feel terrible that I have to answer for it. And I have said in the last 1 year, I will not answer for it. You go and ask those people. But at the same time, I will tell you this. When the Commonwealth Games scam broke and we were aggressively reporting it, I hope this answers your question to the first questioner. I asked my journalists, have any of you taken passes for the inaugural ceremony of the Commonwealth Games? And some said, yes, there are some passes which have come. I said, you have to return everything. And from today, you must ensure not one pass, not one pen, not one gift, not one keychain, not one free ticket. Nothing you must accept. Because even if I accept a bottle of water, I will be compromised. And you see, I work out of Mumbai. I came to Mumbai 7 years back. People tell me, how is it to work in Mumbai? You must feel like a complete joker because you're the only editor in the whole country who is operating out of Lower Parel. I said, it's fantastic. On the contrary, because I don't have to have lunch and dinner and drinks with people who I'm reporting on. I have to keep a distance. If I try to become a friend of the establishment, then trust me, I can never report on the establishment. A journalist and the power circuit cannot cohabit. Their jobs are completely contrarian. They have to be in direct conflict. A journalist has to draw the line. A journalist, after becoming compromised, cannot say, oh, by the way, that person compromised me, you ask him. The journalist has to learn to answer. We have to improve our ethical standards. Yes, journalism has been compromised.
So I would just like to ask, I have been defending the kind of journalism which you practice since I don't know how many years. I'm an aspiring journalist. And I would just like to ask you, more than what motivates you, what are the demotivating factors which you come across while practicing such kind of journalism?
Okay. I'll tell you what is the most demotivating factor. Every morning I wake up to a reality and I curse myself for how did I not report it earlier. I absolutely curse myself. I curse myself for not reporting that Jammu and Kashmir, I don't know, I hope there are some representatives from J&K. Today, are there some? I curse myself for not reporting that Jammu and Kashmir today has no cinema houses that function. That a young person in J&K cannot go out and see a movie in a cinema hall. And I curse myself for being in the media and not having reported this till 3 or 4 weeks back. I curse myself for not reporting the Rathore case. The entire case in which a young girl was both molested and driven to her death, that case was languishing for 12 years in the courts, and we in the national media did not pay attention to it. So the low points for me are the number of stories which I don't do. And every story, this story which came to me, I'm a student of social anthropology, this story which came to me about the Jarawa tribe day before yesterday, and let me tell you, since I'm in a frank mood today, that day before yesterday, more people threatened me than in the case of the CWG scam. I got such calls, we will see you, our paths will cross one day, we will do this, do that. I said that, what have I done? They said, no, they are showing this video of Jarawa tribals in the Andamans. they are being made to, pennies are being thrown at them, and they are being made to dance for tourists. I don't know if you've seen the story, any of you? You may have been busy here, but you will read about it in the papers. I curse myself for not having reported this for so many years that I have been a journalist. There are so many realities in this country that I don't report. But at the same time, it is my opportunity which I have to continue to do things to highlight. And in the middle of it, people say, why don't you do something good? Why don't you tell us what is nice? Why don't you tell us the good news sometimes for a change? So I said, I will try. Yes.
Sir, some media channels work for some political parties and just praise their work and just cover their wrong face. So what will you say for that, sir?
If the media starts getting controlled by political parties, then the media is in big trouble.
Sir, some media channels, sir.
But they have to keep a distance. And they must have the courage to even report on the parties which may control them. That is a simple answer.
And please, can you give your email ID, sir?
My email ID is ornav.goswami@timesgroup.com.
Thank you, sir.
You can mail me anytime. Thank you very much.
भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की। मंचासीन सभी महानुभाव और यहां उपस्थित सभी दोस्तों, मैं आप सबसे प्रश्न पूछना चाहता हूं कि आप भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ हैं? आर यू अगेंस्ट करप्शन? आपको आश्चर्य होगा मैं ये प्रश्न मैंने क्यों पूछा। 2 दिन पहले मुझे एक एसएमएस आया था। इट वॉज अ जोक, वो व्यंग था, लेकिन उस व्यंग ने मेरे सामने कुछ प्रश्न खड़े किए। जो प्रश्न मैं अपने आप से पूछता हूं, उसका सवाल मैं अपने आप से पूछता हूं, उसका जवाब भी मैं अपने आप को देता हूं। वो एसएमएस था जिसमें संता बंता से पूछता है, यार बंता, अगर सारा भारत करप्शन के खिलाफ है तो साला फिर ये करप्शन करता कौन है? और ये सवाल मैं अपने आप से भी पूछता हूं और इसका जवाब भी देने की कोशिश करता हूं। दोस्तों, भ्रष्टाचार एक ऐसी व्यवस्था का सूत्रपात करता है जिस व्यवस्था से जनता प्रताड़ित तो है, लेकिन उस व्यवस्था से लड़ना नहीं चाहती। यह एक ऐसी व्यवस्था है जिस व्यवस्था का हर व्यक्ति विरोध करना चाहता है, लेकिन उससे कॉम्प्रोमाइज करता है, और इसीलिए देश में भ्रष्टाचार है। आर्य चाणक्य कहते थे, इस राष्ट्र की जितनी दुर्दशा दुर्जनों की दुर्जनता से नहीं हुई, उतनी सज्जनों की निष्क्रियता से हुई है, और आज यही समाज का यथार्थ है। भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ तो हम हैं, पर उससे हम लड़ना नहीं चाहते। आज युवा दिवस है। वो योद्धा सन्यासी, वो युवा सन्यासी स्वामी विवेकानंद शिकागो में जाकर अपने अलौकिक वक्तव्य से जिन्होंने सारी दुनिया को अद्भुत कर दिया, वो स्वामी विवेकानंद जी का आज जन्म दिवस है। और आज के इस दिन मैं याद दिलाना चाहता हूं, चेन्नई यूनिवर्सिटी में स्वामी विवेकानंद जी ने छात्रों से सवाल किया था, क्या अपने देश की दरिद्रता को देखकर आपका हृदय द्रवित होता है? क्या आपकी देश की दरिद्रता को देखकर आपको यह लगता है कि इस दरिद्रता को दूर करने के लिए मुझे कुछ करना चाहिए? और क्या इस दरिद्रता को दूर करने के लिए आप कुछ कर रहे हैं? अगर ये तीनों चीजें आप में मौजूद है तो आप सच्चे देशभक्त हैं। देशभक्ति केवल अंग्रेजों से लड़ने में नहीं है, देश की दरिद्रता से लड़ने में भी देशभक्ति है। मैं ये मानता हूं, आज अगर स्वामी विवेकानंद जी यहां होते तो यही सवाल पूछते, क्या हमारे देश के करप्शन को देखकर, भ्रष्टाचार को देखकर हमारा हृदय द्रवित होता है? क्या हम उससे लड़ने की चाह रखते हैं? क्या हम उससे लड़ने की कोशिश करते हैं? दोस्तों, आज देश में जो भ्रष्टाचार है, ये 2 सीमाओं पर हमें इससे लड़ना होगा। एक और हमारी डिलीवरी सिस्टम, करप्शन इन द डिलीवरी सिस्टम ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज, जो आम आदमी को प्रताड़ित करती है, और दूसरी ओर पॉलिटिकल करप्शन, जो इसका रूट कॉज है। जब तक सत्ता की कुर्सी का रास्ता नोटों से भरे हुए गलियारे से गुजरेगा, देश का करप्शन समाप्त नहीं हो सकता। देश के अंदर अगर करप्शन समाप्त करना है तो इलेक्टोरल रिफॉर्म्स करने होंगे। आज देश की राजनीति में पैसे का जो महत्व है उसको कम करना होगा। और जब शीर्षस्थ लोग ये करप्शन से मुक्त होंगे तो अर्णव जी ने कहा वो बात होगी, जब लोग अगर करप्शन के खिलाफ हमको लड़ना है तो करप्ट लोगों का समूह करप्शन के खिलाफ नहीं लड़ सकता। जब शीर्षस्थ लोग करप्शन से मुक्त होंगे तो देश भी करप्शन से मुक्त होता हमको दिखाई पड़ेगा। मैं केवल आज के इस मौके पर, चूंकि 3 मिनट का केवल मेरे पास समय है, मैं दुष्यंत कुमार की उन लाइनों के साथ आपको अपील करना चाहता हूं जिसमें दुष्यंत कुमार कहते हैं, हो गई है पीर पर्वत सी अब पिघलनी चाहिए, हो गई है पीर पर्वत सी अब पिघलनी चाहिए, इस हिमालय से कोई गंगा अब निकलनी चाहिए। आज ये दीवार पर्दों की तरह हिलने लगी, शर्त मगर ये थी ये बुनियाद हिलनी चाहिए, शर्त मगर ये थी ये बुनियाद हिलनी चाहिए। सिर्फ हंगामा खड़ा करना मेरा मकसद नहीं, कोशिश ये है ये सूरत बदलनी चाहिए। तेरे सीने मेरे सीने में नहीं तो तेरे सीने में सही, मेरे सीने में नहीं तो तेरे सीने में सही, हो आग कहीं भी मगर आग जलनी चाहिए। दोस्तों, इस आग को जलाना होगा। इफ यू वांट टू फाइट द करप्शन, इस आग को जलाना होगा। और इस आग को अगर जलाना है तो राष्ट्रभक्ति हमारे मन में प्रज्वलित करनी पड़ेगी। हमारा मॉरल कैरेक्टर, नेशनल कैरेक्टर, ये हमको बढ़ाना पड़ेगा। क्या कभी किसने सुना है सूर्य छिपता तिमिर भय से, क्या कभी सरिता रुकी है बांध से बन पर्वतों से, जो न रुकते मार्ग चलते चीर कर सब संकटों को, वर्ण करती कीर्ति उनका छोड़ कर सब असुर दल को, ध्येय मंदिर के पथिक को कंटकों का ही सहारा, राष्ट्रभक्ति ले हृदय में हो खड़ा यदि देश सारा, संकटों पर मात कर यह राष्ट्र विजयी हो हमारा। इस चिर विजय की कामना के साथ यस वी कैन, यस वी विल, इंडिया करप्शन फ्री होगा। ये मेरी जनरेशन के लिए तो ड्रीम था, पर तुम्हारी जनरेशन इसको रियलिटी में बदलेगी, इस विश्वास के साथ जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Session 7, Corruption Free India, Dream or Reality. We, the student leaders of India, assembled here in the second Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad, Pune, India, hereby unanimously resolve and pledge not to indulge in any corrupt practices, and further, we wholeheartedly commit ourselves to transform the dream of corruption-free India into reality. Request you, करीब और कुछ सेशंस बाकी हैं, तो जितना ज्यादा हो सके वोट कीजिए। भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त भारत सपना या सत्य, and 96.73% says yes, and around 3.27% says no. So a big congratulations to each and every one of you.
प्रथमेश पाटिल एडिटर और फाउंडर हैं, उनको आमंत्रित करूंगी। प्राजक्ता कुलकर्णी को एडिटर हैं और उत्कर्ष पारीक को फाउंडर हैं इस वेबसाइट के, और इस वेबसाइट का नाम है www.thebunkmag.com। तो आज इसकी विधिवत शुरुआत हम यहां से करेंगे। अर्नब गोस्वामी हमारे साथ हैं, इसकी वेबसाइट का लॉन्च करेंगे भारतीय छात्र संसद के इस मंच से, और हमें उम्मीद है कि आप लोगों का सहयोग जिस तरह से मैगजीन के लिए हमें मिला है उसी तरह से इस वेबसाइट के लिए भी मिलेगा। तालियां बजाकर हम इसका स्वागत करेंगे, इस वेबसाइट का www.thebunkmag.com।
भारतीय छात्र संसद।